Hello, everybody. We are live. Here we are. It's 1:33. Made it a little. I mean, look, it was a little late. Let's face it. I'm hopefully streaming on Theta Network right now, or Theta TV. I don't know if I am. I'll find out later with everybody's comments. But I'm here live with Chico Crypto. I mean, no, wait. This isn't Chico. This is Wes Levitt, head of strategy for Theta Networks. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Jason? Good to be here.
We've been having a great time as I'm dealing with technical difficulties.
Yeah, hopefully all working now.
And as we were discussing earlier, the barber shops just opened in California today, and you're like, you know what? I don't really feel the need.
I know. I've been trying to be a good citizen and not go to any of these illegal barbershops in San Francisco. And yeah, I think this is literally the first day they're open back up again. But, you know, I think I'm going to keep it.
I mean, why not? You know, I mean, it sounds like you're a musician from the looks of your background, and, you know, it's all just kind of hit the whatever and jam out and just not even worry about hair hygiene.
Exactly. I'm leading full end to San Francisco at this point, so I'm all in.
Look, man, welcome. You know, as you probably know, I've been bullish on Theta Network for quite a while. I mean, you know, one of the first videos I did was back in 2018 where I bought in and completely forgot I even bought any of these damn things. And, you know, my whole slogan is crow your coins, right? It's like you buy and you hold and you diversify, and the cream's going to rise to the top. The stuff that doesn't do well, okay. The stuff that does do well is going to likely outperform any losses that you've suffered from the ones that didn't. And then, you know, the longer you hold stuff, the lower your capital gains tax and all that fun stuff. So, you know, I always say crow your coins, and a lot of people are like, hey, Crow, did you sell this? Hey, did you sell that? No. Chances are I've already forgot I even own it. So I hold long term. I wait for the moon, and if we don't get there, then, you know, it is what it is. But I've been very bullish on Theta, and you guys have had so much stuff going on. And I've got a whole bunch of questions, both from myself and community questions. And I did a video last night, just kind of as a preface to this interview. And then I plan on doing a follow-up video based off of some of the answers and the discussion that we have, because I'm going to kind of take a stab at making some calculated predictions on what to expect on Theta Network, and potentially token pricing moving forward. I know you can't say any of that stuff, and but I like to play with numbers and kind of see what's going on. So we'll see how much information we can get out of you. From what I understand, is it Mitch or Mio?
Mitch Liu, yeah, he's the CEO of Theta Labs.
Okay, from what I gather, it's much more fun to interview you because he's much better at like hiding shit during a conversation. So hopefully we'll be able to get some more meat out of you than we could of him.
That's right. He's got to play it a little closer to the vest, but I may be able to divulge a little bit.
Okay, good. So one of the first things I want to ask you is like, you know, the first several questions that my own personal is, I'm just kind of curious how you feel about all of the censorship going on social media, on, you know, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, and well, like what is Theta's stance on a lot of this stuff, and how do you guys plan on either letting people be free, or like what stance do you guys have on all this kind of social media censorship?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it's definitely becoming more and more of a problem, and we're pretty sensitive to that, just being in the video space and in the crypto space too. As far as our take on it, I think it's important first to break down what Theta actually is, because you have Theta TV, our first party video platform, but then Theta Network is the infrastructure, the video delivery infrastructure that runs underneath it. So Theta TV as a video platform, we still do curate content. That said, we take a much more open stance towards streamer censorship or against streamer censorship, and are actively looking to find crypto streamers and others that we don't think should be censored or demonetized or hidden in search results and that kind of thing on YouTube. But that said, Theta Network as a technology, there is no censorship whatsoever. It's literally just a way for users to share video peer-to-peer with each other. And in fact, one of the things we can talk about is our Edge Node program, where it's software that you can simply use to stream to point to any other user. It doesn't actually go through us at Theta Labs. And so there's no way for us to censor even if we wanted to. And we think that's really the bigger picture long term, is giving people tools to be able to stream outside of any centralized platform. Because in theory, what if Theta TV grows, and down the line someone doesn't like the way that we're curating content or something like that? You're playing whack-a-mole, jumping from platform to platform, when what you really need is a solution where you can't be censored for whatever it is you're streaming.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, there's a big difference between, you've got Theta TV and Theta Network, right? So, Theta Network is what you ultimately want to have all of these platforms on the internet utilizing to cut costs and continue to build a community. I mean, this is like basically a blockchain-based CDN service for content delivery. So you want, like, I made a misspeak in my video last night where I said it looked like you were kind of attacking Twitch, like you're going after that market, and you're not really. You ultimately want Twitch and YouTube and all these other platforms to utilize the Theta network, not the other way around where you're just trying to get rid of them all. Yeah,
that's exactly right. I mean, in some ways, Theta TV is a competitor to them just because we're competing for the same eyeballs. So to some extent, we get it, but we really see the bigger play is Theta as a technology being used to power all these platforms. And frankly, even if Theta TV gains market share against Twitch, YouTube, and such these, doesn't necessarily mean we want to kill them and become the next monopoly. I think this whole censorship angle is kind of proof right now that is causing a lot of people to realize it's not a good outcome for anyone to have one dominant platform that can just arbitrarily kick you off because someone decided they didn't like your content, or even worse, an algorithm unexpectedly kicked you off and no one even knew it. You're just kind of a victim of the way it played out. So we would like to see a more fragmented space. Certainly not one where you have one dominant player that has all the power against streamers or users.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of expressed my theory. My channel was shut down completely. It just seemed very random, and I know many other YouTubers as well. And a lot of people were thinking that it's a censorship issue with blockchain type content. And I actually didn't think that was the case. I still don't really. What I think is happening is that, there are these scammy people running ads, and these ads are running during our videos, and there's no way to report the ads themselves. This is something that I feel YouTube needs to address. So what these people are doing is they're saying, this is a scam, flag the video, flag the video, flag the video. And that YouTube's algorithm just says, oh, something's wrong with this video. We need to shut it down and shut down the channel because we don't know what's going on. And I think that's a big oversight in YouTube's part because the ads have not stopped. And there's no way to report the individual ads, which there should be, because these ads are running rampant across YouTube, and us content providers are the ones ultimately getting the kick in the tail. And so that's what I personally think is happening, and they still haven't necessarily seemed to address it yet. And so, yeah, I don't even think it's as much about blockchain or Bitcoin type censorship. And I think that the other symptom to that is that a lot of content creators in the blockchain space are being kind of shadow banned, because it's kind of a once bit, twice shy kind of scenario, where because the algorithm has said there's some bad stuff happening here, then the algorithm is also saying, let's keep these guys on the down low a little bit until we figure things out. And I just think that's just a major bug in the algorithm that I'd really like to see them remedy. Now, leading into that, just the spur question is do you guys, so when I go to Theta TV, I instantly get blasted with video, right? Like just autoplay video stuff. And if I try to pause it, it's almost like telling the platform, yes, I want to start this over. Like, it just didn't seem to be very, like, I was kind of taken aback, like, whoa, wait a minute, this isn't what I'm trying to do. But there weren't any ads that I saw. So, like, can you just discuss maybe the platform a bit, like from like Theta TV, how is the model going to be, ran moving forward? Like, is it going to be ad based like everything else? And if so, are people going to buy ads using Theta tokens or TFuel? Like, what is the model?
Yeah, so there are actually some ads run on Theta TV, although it's pretty moderate, I think, compared to probably, I guess, what users might be used to if you're using the free version of YouTube or Twitch. It's not quite as saturated. So there is some ad revenue generated, but we do think it's an advantage that because we have it running on Theta Network and because users are earning TFuel for these contributions, donating a lot back to users, spending it back in Theta TV store. There's other levers we can pull effectively to monetize the platform that maybe we can do it in a way that's not quite as intrusive to users. I mean, I know everyone's used to ads at this point on video platforms, but it's not a good experience. And I don't know that we'd ever go with no ads, but maybe that's something we can do to differentiate here. Is that because we're monetizing just by this user flow of TFuel being donated or spent in stores, there's another angle we can do it that is maybe a better user experience than Twitch just saturating you with ads every 30 seconds.
So when it comes to, so obviously if you hold Theta, which I was pleasantly surprised to see that when I bought those Theta tokens back in 2018, I like threw the address into the Theta mainnet explorer and saw that I had like almost 39,000 TFuel sitting there waiting for me. And so what all can I do with it? Like as a content creator and or as a viewer, how does having TFuel in my account help me as a like, how does it help me get subscribers? Like, can I boost myself so that my channel is forced into the recommendeds? Like how does that work?
Yeah, there's no way to boost the channel necessarily, but we do have a lot of streamers that they get donated. These users earn TFuel because they're relaying video to other users nearby, basically contributing to this delivery network. And they earn it and donate a lot to their favorite streamers. Well, some streamers, they see it as their income, which can be pretty significant, but others say, you know what, I'm doing this on the side, or I'm already making enough through other channels or endorsements or something, and I'm just going to give it back to my users. So I'll say, if you come to my channel and watch, then I'm just giving it away to my different users, or giving it to users that perform different social actions. It's really up to the content creator. So there's ways basically you can give back to that if you want to do that, and then effectively trade that for exposure content. But sure, that is something we could look into implementing as well, if there was kind of a programmatic way of saying, I want to contribute some of my TFuel back to the pool, and then in return, then that gives you visibility, something like that.
Yeah, visibility is going to be a big thing, especially, like I went through some of the traffic statistics, and I think it was something like Theta TV is getting around 380 something thousand visits a month right now. Does that sound accurate to you?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Although I don't think I don't think SimilarWeb tracks mobile as well, or it doesn't fold it into the same number. But that's probably roughly accurate for the desktop web.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's still pretty because of that, and because we're still in kind of a curated phase with stream keys. We are still somewhat keeping it well and just trying to direct good content. So like, when we checked out your crypto co content and thought this is great for Theta TV, give you a stream key. We do think, of course, at some point you can't scale up by just doing it ourselves, and especially as a small startup here in Bay Area, we can't be, we don't want to be picking and choosing. So at some point we open it up, then it'll be a lot more important to think through what's the most user-friendly way to rank videos and have them show up, because there is some merit in having some algorithm for determining that. I think the problem people are having these days is just when it's wielded in a way that like that some platforms do it, where it doesn't feel user-friendly or friendly to content creators, and even worse, is totally opaque. You have no idea what's driving the rankings or not, or why you were shadow banned, so on.
So you guys are effectively still building out the algorithm that dictates what videos rise and what gets, quote unquote recommended, that sort of thing.
Yeah, because at this stage, it's still easy enough for us to be very much in touch with the Theta community and the viewers, and understand, like, at a really granular level, what they like and what they don't like, and then just try to push the content in a way that they're responding well to. But yeah, as it grows, there's no way that at size, you can do it in such a manual way.
Yeah, I mean, all you really need to know is if it's put out by or says Crypto Crow, it's number one. That's it. Anything other than that, like, why waste the time? Come on.
So we'll start with the algo there, and then we'll just build out from there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's simple. Okay, so is it possible to boost videos in any way on Theta to force algorithmic promotion of new channels? No, that's not necessarily the case. You're basically saying ultimately, you know, I can do a video, and I did see in my streamer dashboard that I can create little rewards or whatever that have like a TFuel cost associated with them. And then, like, you know, somebody at the end of this stream is going to win this trumpet that's worth 100 TFuel. Is that kind of the way that it increases interactivity with the viewers and ultimately boosts your channel through just people getting excited about winning a trumpet?
Yeah, exactly. It's a little more organic way of doing it, and it's certainly in the like esports arena where we're coming from. That's definitely been proven effective as a way that's actually a way to boost channel engagement. So, you know, maybe that's maybe we can expand that to do something a little more programmatic, but I think it's the same concept we're talking about, where you know, just pay directly to boost the views. You just do it in a way that kind of loops in the user as well, or the viewer.
Yeah, I mean, if I were able to pay, so if people are watching my content on Theta, and then they're donating TFuel, basically saying, we love your content, thank you. And then I'm able to take that TFuel and say, okay, anytime somebody, like Pre-Search does something like this, if you're familiar with them. And, you know, I can basically stake my Pre-Search tokens and say, okay, anytime somebody plugs in this keyword, you know, I come up. Now, with video delivery, it's a little bit different because you're going to have a lot of different people that are worthy of capitalizing on that traffic, right? So, you know, you can either have it set as an auction system, it's like an in-based, you know, ad kind of scenario where you're using your TFuel to basically buy traffic from those particular keywords. I mean, there's like the opportunities are really endless. I'm happy to come on board and work all this stuff out with you. I did online marketing for 20 years, but you know, I personally would love stuff like that, you know, rather than just like, here's a trumpet. You know, as the community continues to grow, and I'm using a trumpet as just a joke, it's whatever. It's like these little icons, you know, like whatever. So, but yeah, that's ultimately what I would really love to see. And Somi is kind of doing something similar to that. You've got Pre-Search and Theta. I have a feeling we're going to see something like that at some point.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting dynamic. Again, bringing the viewer into this decision as well, so it doesn't feel so much like they're blasted with whatever the algo tells them to listen to. But you know, it actually creates kind of an interesting feedback loop, because as a streamer, if you're amassing a lot of TFuel just because you've got a lot of viewers, they like your content, they reward you by donating people that they earn back to you, then you know you can make an argument that actually kind of it kind of proves you've earned the right to have more access, as opposed to just, you know, through ad content we decided in this hidden algorithm that you should be on top. It's more directly responsive to what the viewer's preferences are, which, you know, in general, I think aligns with what we're trying to do, which is basically make it feel more equitable and in favor of all the people involved in this, the content creators, the users, as opposed to just dictated to them.
Right. I get it. I get it. Now, I've seen some comments about this. Is it possible to import YouTube libraries into Theta for new streaming channels? If not, will that be coming? Maybe something like LBRY. Just basically like on demand. I've seen something that said on demand was coming.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Video demand's being tested right now. And in fact, in a very short time, we'll actually be going live on Theta TV. And that is something that's been, I know our team has heard several times that'd be pretty key for YouTubers, for example, or anyone else that wants to port over their library, or just, you know, be able to, like in the way you're simulcasting here, be able to add to your library on both sides at the same time. So we're definitely focused on ways we can make that transition easier, or able to do both at the same time, just because, you know, you can be interested in Theta TV philosophically, but at the end of the day, if the tools aren't there or if it's a harder experience, that's going to cause a lot of streamers to not be interested. So we want to make it as painless as possible to be moving over content to Theta TV.
Yeah. So like if this interview right now is live on Theta TV, which I haven't confirmed, I don't know honestly if it is, will it stay and does it not turn into an on-demand video after that? Or does it just go away like it never happened?
Yeah, because we haven't actually rolled out VOD to production yet. Right now it's just a live stream. So just like any other live stream going. But that said, yeah, that's basically how it will play out once it's live. And with a library import feature, then basically you can go back and scrape all the old videos that should have been made VOD and then bring it up to speed on your Theta channel.
So I will be able to go into and back up my whole YouTube channel on Theta in the future.
Yeah, I think that's the intention. I don't want to speak too out of line for our devs who are probably in the back. What did you just promise for these guys? But I know that's something that they had addressed, so that should be in the works.
I mean, if LBRY can do it, Theta can do it. I'm just saying, devs, don't be a punk.
Yeah, I don't think there's a specific technical aspect of it that would make it so difficult to happen. So I expect that would be part of the way it's rolled out. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be huge. I mean, because it's the after stream video on demand, it's that keyword traffic, it's that ranking traffic, it's all of that traffic that's going to bring people in. Think about it. I have videos that are ranking all over Google, and like I could do a video today, and a year from now that's going to pull in more traffic that's going to come bring people to my live streams. So that's a huge element to building a following on a video channel.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we started with live streaming for a reason, because the way that Theta Network as an infrastructure works, we have to have at least a few users nearby to be able to peer with and share that video as it's being shared. Similar concept with VOD, you have to have some peers to do it. But even if you're drawing in users from the long tail of old videos, and maybe you're the only one watching a video from a year ago, but like you said, it draws users in, and then as soon as they're there and they see you're also live streaming at that time, that drives that traffic from someone just checking out an old video of yours that maybe just hit a keyword they were searching for, but now they get funneled in to see your live stream as well, and that feeds into the infrastructure we're trying to build here, where now they're part of this peer-to-peer network where they're sharing that live stream with everyone else in their city that's watching.
Okay. You answered a couple questions just by default. I'm getting people telling me to shut up. Hey, just so you guys know in chat, you can suck it. I'm going to say what I want. When will on demand? Okay, that's all right. We answered a few questions all in one little chunk here, so that's good.
Trying to be efficient.
Now, this is going to go into some of the really important stuff that I see coming for you guys. How will Theta be using its patent, and how far-reaching does it go in terms of blockchain streaming tech? Are there going to be licensing options, or are you just going to start suing everybody? Like, how is that going to work out? I don't see the latter happening, but how is that going to become a business model?
Yeah, so this is kind of an interesting one that there's some nuance to it, because of course the Theta blockchain is open source. So I think a lot of folks would wonder, well, what does a patent have to do with it? And it's because there's two parts to it, really. There's the Theta blockchain itself, which is open source and always will be, and frankly needs to be, because I wouldn't trust a blockchain that was closed source, let alone patented, just because you don't know who's controlling it. You don't know who has a backdoor to it, who has access to it. So that'll never happen. But the other thing that's proprietary that Theta Labs developed is the tracker servers and the algorithm behind how we connect peers, and a few things actually, and changed how we discovered how to slice up video fragments into even smaller slices that more effectively allowed you to relay with peers nearby. So a lot of interesting innovations that J.E. Long, our CTO, and his team had done that is patented. And the whole idea behind this is basically that the Theta blockchain is open source for transparency reasons. The streaming algorithm for Theta Network is not. And the biggest reason for that is that, it's very interesting when you see chains being forked, or DeFi projects being forked to another version that they're testing with. But the reality is if you fork Theta and just cut out the token, that also means cutting out all the token holders. And so, we're a little bit trying to have it both ways, but we want to be open and transparent so that no one needs to feel like they need to trust Theta Labs to trust the protocol, but also doing it in a way that token holders that believe in the project and have been with us for a long time, like yourself since January 2018, don't wake up one day and find out that some other blockchain protocol has basically grabbed everything we built, cut out all the existing people, and then given that value to someone else instead. And so this is in some ways a way to prevent that possible scenario. Not that I'm aware of it happening, but that's kind of our thought as data grows bigger and becomes more valuable. That could be a concern, and if you're a token holder, I think it's one that you'd want to see addressed.
And I think you're right, and I think it is a big concern. I mean, look at what just happened to Uniswap, and a lot of these big platforms that are open source, they put everything out there, and as soon as they get to a certain size, it's very easy to just say, okay, well, we're just going to copy you, rebrand it, and launch it as our own, and suck all of your customers, all of that. And it's I think open source is, I get the whole model behind open source technology on the blockchain, because it's all about, sharing development and growing together. But the reality is a lot of blockchain tech right now is fueled by greed and scams and shadiness and darkness, in my opinion. And you've got really valuable technologies being created to better everybody in this space, but you've got a lot of bad actors just looking to capitalize on the weakness of anything and anybody they can. And I think you got to protect yourself. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and then, it's what really kind of made us start realizing that is it's bigger than us, in that just as Theta Labs, we're not even that large of a holder in the scheme of things. We don't own the majority of the tokens at all. There's I believe 22, or excuse me, I'll just get you the figure right now. How many Guardian nodes we have running on our network right now? About 1,370 that have all staked Theta. A lot of them have been with the project from when they were doing this on testnet. It's been upwards of a year now, and they've invested not just money, but a lot of their their time and their blood, sweat, and tears in this. And it'd be pretty irresponsible if we set up a situation where one day you wake up and that's someone's forked it out, screwed over all them, and we say, oh, we didn't think about that. Sorry. So it's bigger than Theta Labs now, and which is our intention. We want to eventually be just community driven, and Theta Labs not be and have to be a driving force. And part of doing that responsibly is making sure that it's not the rug isn't pulled out from under their blood, sweat, and tears. Something like this.
So what about the companies that are already out there, like BitChute and some of these other like blockchain-based streaming platforms? I mean, do they? How do any of those affect the patent, or do they at all? Is it just based on the way their technology works? If they're not operating kind of like a chopped packet CDN, they're fine, or is there something more to it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's not, we can't patent the concept of blockchain and video altogether. I mean, I suppose that'd be interesting if you could, but it's very specific to the technology we developed and the innovations we made in being able to improve peer-to-peer streaming. So it doesn't mean someone can't come up with a better concept or a different way of doing it that's better, and more power to them. It does mean that you can't just take what we created and make a copy of it and then try to monetize it yourself for something you didn't make. So it's pretty limited in scope, and by design. We're not looking to patent it so we can go after a competitor or anything like that. It's just about protecting what Theta has.
It's protecting yourself. I get it. I'm just asking because I know other people are thinking it. I have a pretty good idea as to your guys' mindset over there. It's one of the reasons why we're here right now. Where do you see the Theta protocol in 1 year, and in terms of platform adoption and partnerships? And what sort of give us a bit? Can you give us a big drop? Tell us something Mitch wouldn't. What's something nobody knows yet that they can learn right here?
Yeah. If I was going to drop something that new, I'd have to think about it before. If I shoot from the hip here, I'm probably
let's
going
just
to.
shoot from the hip. It's always
I'm
more
gonna,
exciting.
I'm going to overshoot and get myself in trouble. But yeah, that's definitely the biggest focus we have right now. I mean, I think if I had to characterize it, that yeah, I think everyone's pretty happy with what's been delivered on a technical level now that so our mainnet 2.0 launched, and now Guardian nodes are staking, more than 1,000 of them, and it's pretty decentralized as far as the makeup of token stake between our validator nodes, Guardian nodes. Data Labs is not a majority by any means. But I think what now needs to happen is to go from we have a product that works to getting it adopted by as many platforms as possible. Theta TV, of course, is our first party and a great example of what can be done. There's some other platforms like Movie Block over in Korea that just went live last week. That was really exciting. And we've got several more in the works that we're hoping to roll out in the coming months. But that's really got to be the focus, because building a very interesting product that works from a technical sense is not that exciting to people. I think that's been done a lot in crypto. What gets people excited is to see that finding that product market fit that makes a dozen or 50 or more platforms start taking this on en masse. And that's what we're trying to get to 12 months from now.
So how much traffic do you think Theta TV is going to be getting in a month compared to the 385,000 now? How much do you think that's going to grow over, let's just say, this time next year?
Well, now that you are officially streaming on Theta TV, I mean, we can see how many users you bring over, and
no, I think really cares about me. I'm just an ogre on YouTube. Like, people just like to troll me.
No, I think we really hit on a vein, something that, while esports is obviously kind of our background here, and I think just based on how our demographics play out and the overlap with a lot of the type of video content we're looking at, there'll always be a focus on esports. That said, it's really, I think we really hit on something when we streamed Consensus and partnered with Binance for their conferences, and Blockdown. Some of the other things like the NASA launches that stream, where there's not a particular sector that we're going after, but I think there's something that just in our demographic range, there's a lot of different contents they like, and it's been a really big response and opens up the universe to what we can bring onto the platform. They're actually kind of come together in a lot of ways. In fact, maybe here's your drop. I can't name names, but very soon there's a pretty big name crypto and esports live stream event that's going to be coming together, and the majority of that will be exclusive to Theta TV. And so that kind of validates what we're thinking, that it doesn't need to be esports only. We can expand to other content types if they're in the same universe of, I think, what our demographics look like. And I think if we keep going down that road, there's no reason that Theta TV traffic can't be 5-10x from what we are today.
Okay, 5 to 10x more. So that'll give me some numbers to crunch later.
Okay, great.
Well, because I mean, I agree. Have you see? I talk a lot with the guys over at SoMe, and I told them I would love to see them utilize Theta Network for their future video delivery services that I know they're working on. So yeah, and that could help, because I know what these guys have planned for their marketing coming up, and it's big. So yeah, we should definitely look into what we can do there, because it's definitely, the fact of the matter is, it's still much easier to work with a video platform that's either crypto native, or one that at least